All right, welcome back to Fanbased. We're here today, just a little bit of Thanksgiving analysis. So we're gonna jump right into it. Cam, we're gonna start with you today. First game of the day on Thanksgiving. What you got?
All right. I got the Lions. Packers have been struggling on offense a little bit. They pulled one out this past week against the Chargers. Really close game, really good game also. But I just think the Lions' defense is going to overmatch the Packers' struggling offense, and the Lions are going to be good enough to score points. The Packers also are really injured. They have been all year. Jair Alexander's been on injury report almost all year. He's played games and he hasn't played games. They're out Aaron Jones now. I saw Devondre Campbell, I think, was on the injured list. Just a bunch of starters on the injured list for Green Bay. I think it's just going to be a little bit too much for them to be able to compete with the Lions tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. Lions by a mile. Packers played well last game. Jordan Love threw the most passing yards he has in the season with 322. But I believe he had 2 interceptions. And their run game is, I wouldn't say non-existent, but close to it, especially against a good D-line like Detroit has. Goff had 3 interceptions. Didn't look good. They won. That's what matters. Their run game is going to destroy this D-line of the Packers. Aaron Jones out, like you said, and Luke Musgrave. Sorry, is artist that I am. But he's out, and that's not the biggest hit, but he's the rookie tight end that can really make a play on the ball, and without that, he's going to look bad here in Ford Field. So I've got Detroit probably by. Do you guys know what the line is on this game?
It was 7.5 last time I looked at it.
I'd take the Lions in 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. As much as I want to be like, yeah, this is a divisional game. I mean, they're outmatched. I mean, they had their divisional wake up call last week against Chicago. Everybody's got somebody in their division that they play closer than. Like you were saying last week, the Eagles play the Commanders too close every time, no matter how good or bad either team is. I don't think that's the case today or tomorrow for Detroit. I think they steamrolled. No Aaron Jones. Doesn't matter if they had him anyways. I think that probably between Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, they might have 200 combined, rushing and receiving yards. They'll probably get some receiving yards out of that backfield, but it's going to be ground heavy, just kind of almost like an abuse of the Packers D line. And like you said, Jair's banged up too, so I wouldn't be surprised if Amon Ra has 100 yards and a touchdown of his own too. It's not going to be pretty. But Washington and Dallas, I know on paper it kind of looks the same, right? I think it's a little bit of a different scenario. I think if Sam Howell can eliminate the turnovers, they can play Dallas pretty close. That's a big if. I mean, he had 6. Well, not himself, but Washington in general had 6 turnovers last week against the Giants. I'm a Giants fan. I've been watching them all year. We don't force any turnovers. So if they turn the ball over 6 times against Dallas, you're not gonna compete. But I don't know. I just feel like Sam Howell is so streaky. If he can put a good first drive together, it might be scary for Dallas. But I mean, I still think Dallas is going to win, no matter how close this game is or how good Washington plays. I still think Dallas pulls it out.
Yeah. This game is big for the Commanders franchise, if they're the Commanders after the season. But with Sam Howell, is he your franchise guy? We'll see. He seems like he can play ball, but at the same time, he seems like he's playing in college still. It's so hard to tell. See how they want to go about that. But Dallas beats up on terrible teams. They've been doing it all season. I wouldn't necessarily call Washington a terrible team, but they can play like a terrible team.
I mean, they just lost to Tommy DeVito. I mean,
I take it back. Washington is a terrible team, and they're going to get absolutely dog walked by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and it's not going to be close. And Riverboat Ron is going to sink, and he's going to be out of here. And he hopefully will never have a job in the NFL again, but he probably will somewhere. So if they lose this game, which I think they will by a landslide, Riverboat Ron is out. In fact, he's not even Riverboat Ron. He doesn't make any good calls. I've never seen him almost in his career make any fourth down calls that made me go, oh, what a call. He's been mediocre his whole career. He just hit 100 wins this season, and he had a 15-1 season before, and you just hit 100 wins as a head coach. He's terrible. He's terrible. He's out of there. They got rid of their defense. Their two best players on defense. They still got some good outside corners and decent safeties, but this is it. This is it for the Commanders. If they get blown out this game, it's blown up. Their whole organization's getting blown up. Everyone's gone except probably Sam Howell and maybe Bill Belichick. Maybe Bill Belichick's on his way to what city are they in?
No way.
I know they're in DC. Where's their field? Anyway.
Yeah,
What
they're
was it?
Landover.
Maryland, but I can't remember what's. Anyway, they're out of here. That's it. Done.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna have to agree here. I'm gonna have to also take the Cowboys. Listen, this Commanders team is really young though. They're relatively young. They're 4-7 this year, negative 69 point differential. But it's kind of lopsided. They only have 3 losses that are more than one score, one of them being the Giants game this past week, which I'm not really going to count because they did throw a pick 6 late while driving to try to win the football game. Besides that, they lost to the Bills 37-3, and they lost to the Bears 40-20. But besides that, every other one of their games, wins and losses, have been one score. But they're just really young. They make mistakes. Like Landon said, they turned the ball over 6 times last week against the Giants. Can't do that. They turned the ball over 3 times. They win the game, but maybe 2 scores. But I don't think the Commanders are necessarily as bad as their record shows. But they're nowhere near the Cowboys. Cowboys at home. I know it's a divisional game, so it might be closer than people think. But Cowboys at home on Thanksgiving Day is just like their Super Bowl almost every year. So give me the Cowboys to win. Give me the Cowboys to cover 13.5. I'll take the Cowboys like 41-24.
Yeah. But before we go off of this game, I want to go ahead and say, one, FedEx Field is got to be the worst field. Worst stadium in all of football. Did you see their showers weren't working? They had no hot water in their showers for the players after the last game. I mean, that's absolutely pathetic, which is embarrassing because they came up with a list and it said, actually, your Giants said MetLife Stadium had the worst stadium. They did an anonymous poll of NFL players. It's got to be ridiculous. That had to be before the hot water. But with this team, what was I going to say here? Excuse me. They're going to get absolutely destroyed here by Dallas. Boys, I lost my train of thought. We can move on. I can't remember what I was going to say. It was going to be about these Commanders and how pathetic they are. So it's probably okay.
And to be fair, the Giants always. You got it.
I remember my thought here. Well, what you had to say, Cam, was you don't think Washington's that bad of a team. But I think we've been thinking that because they played the Eagles hard twice. If they didn't play the Eagles hard twice and we blew them out both those games, this is a whole different conversation. This is a conversation of, Washington is a terrible team. I don't think they proved it other than playing us close and having a few, decent wins on their schedule. Other than that, they've been terrible. I mean, their offense has been high-powered to an extent. They turn the ball over. They throw the ball a lot. Their run game is it doesn't really do much for them. They've got to rely on Sam Howell, and he is young and it's fun, but I think they're done for. I mean, I feel like there's almost no hope in this season, and I don't think a coach changes this around. I think you need a few years, which I know you probably think that too, but I think they're going to need some work.
Yeah, for sure. I think a few years away. I mean, their offensive line is god awful. Their secondary is also terrible. I mean, like I said, they're just young. I think they're figuring it out right now. I think, 2-3 years maybe, they're in contention. I know that division is hard to play in, but they're at least maybe in divisional contention in 2 to 3 years. This is a team we saw a couple years ago with Taylor Heineke and Kyle Allen win a playoff game or almost win a playoff game. So, I mean, like, it's kind of crazy. I do agree that Ron Rivera should be out the door. They need to bring in a new coach. Either one, bring in a new coach, or 2, promote Eric Bieniemy. And I think that was part of the deal there. They brought him in and said, hey, Ron's going to be out in the next 2 to 3 years, so we're going to promote you to head coach when that happens. And
I think that'd be a good idea too.
It's a greater job there. But yeah, they're a young team, but it doesn't change the fact that they're going to lose tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think it's time for Bieniemy to get a chance to be a head coach. I mean, he's proven himself. I mean, I know the Chiefs are still the Chiefs, but their offense does not look the same without him this year, and they have the same team. I mean, they didn't really lose anybody. They I guess you could say they gained. I mean, Kadarius Toney, I watched him play on the Giants. He's not that guy.
I think you could argue that though. I think you definitely could argue that they gained. They lost Juju and McCole Hardman. They get McCole Hardman back for free, and then they lost Juju and drafted Rashee Rice, which, in my opinion, Rashee Rice maybe situation's better, but I don't think so. Has been more productive this year than Juju has been.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's
and
a very
that drop. MVS should be balling too. I mean, they've got some guys who make plays out there.
And their defense.
I mean, MVS does have the most drops. He does have the most drops in the league, though.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's like I think he has 2 more than the. I think he has 6, and then the next closest receiver has 4. So that's a big. You said who?
Probably Deontay Johnson.
He's always had a problem with those, but he's explosive when he gets the ball in his hands. At least, I mean, MVS is like you get him, you set up a screen for him. What is he going to do? I mean, he's a deep ball guy that can't catch the deep ball.
He's still my favorite receiver, though. So, but can't defend the pass.
Yeah,
you don't have to be good. This guy right here couldn't guard him. But guess what? He's a Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't want to stray too far away. I know we're just trying to get the Thanksgiving Day's games out of the way, all that, but I don't understand how Jalen Hurts is in the MVP conversation. I think even you as an Eagles fan, Boston, should know he's not having an MVP type year. He's not.
I'm leaving that at no comment. Cam, you can say what you want. I'm leaving that at no comment.
Listen.
Way.
You can say I'll put it like this, right? I have always been a Jalen Hurts defender. I have since his rookie year. And I don't remember if I said this last week. For some reason in my head, I feel like I said this on the episode last week, but I might not have. MVP, and this is in every league. I think I did say this when we were talking about.
We talked about this
last week. MVP in every league, MLB, well, not MLB, but NFL and NBA and the Heisman in college is solely a winning award plus performance. It's never this guy had the best stats, but his team was a wild card team. Okay, but this guy had slightly worse stats, but his team went to the Super Bowl. Oh, he deserves MVP because his team went to the Super Bowl. It's never that. And that's why I think Jalen Hurts is the favorite right now, because the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now.
Over Tyreek?
Yeah, I don't know.
Over Tyreek. With the way they do the award, it's over Tyreek. It's going to come down to top 2 teams in the AFC, top 2 teams in the NFC. And then if you look at the NFC, I mean, depending on if the only team I think that a non-quarterback would win would be the Browns if they managed to get there. The San Francisco, you can give it to anybody on that team if they finish first. And then the Dolphins would have to finish first. And I still think Tyreek would get it there. But Jalen Hurts right now is the front runner. Like Cam said, we're the best team in football. And that's just how the MVP goes. They look at the best team and they say, okay, on this team, who is the reason that they're winning? And you can look at A.J. Brown, but even now, if you look at last game, we beat the Chiefs with 1 reception and 8 yards. So it's like, well, now you can't be A.J. Brown because we clearly beat the Super Bowl reigning champs with that. So and with Jalen Hurts, he has 20, I can pull up stats here, but I think he's got 24, 15, and then he's got 9. Yeah, he's got 24 touchdowns on the season. Not bad. His QBR is 95. QBR is whatever. We use it, but he's a game changer, huge game changer. And we're 9-1. So at this point right now, he's going to be the betting favorite. It's going to stay that way until we fall beneath anybody else. But you can always make the argument Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, but it's like LeBron. LeBron should have won it every year for 20 years. He didn't. Tom Brady should win it every year for his whole career. He won a lot, but not enough. It's right now, Jalen Hurts is that guy. He's the only quarterback in the league that's 9-1. So he's a winner.
Yeah, we'll see when Tommy DeVito marches in there and beats him head to head. We'll have a different conversation.
talk about betting later on if you want. If you want,
All right. All
you
right.
guys should have picked
Well,
up
let's
Carson Wentz.
we start. Well,
Should have picked up Carson Wentz to play. I love Tommy DeVito. This was the best celebration I've ever seen. I love the guy.
I mean, if we're gonna have to pick up somebody to play when you're paying Daniel Jones $40 million to get surgery, I mean, you might as well get somebody who's at least gonna be fun to be around and motivate the locker room. It seems like the locker room have really like gathered around them, and they at least played hard against Washington. But we play Washington. That's a team that we're gonna beat them every time we play them, even if we're 0-16 and they're 16-0. We're gonna beat them. It's just how it goes. But moving on, we got the last game of the night. The only game that I personally think could be a little bit competitive, but I don't know. We'll see. Boston, San Francisco, Seattle. What you got?
I've got 3 blowouts on the day. Is what I've got. Do y'all know if Geno Smith is he playing? I haven't seen today. He's expected to play.
Yeah.
Well, he's expected to lose too because there's no chance. There's no chance. They've also, when I said the run game for Packers was bad, look at the Seahawks. Their run game is just as bad. Actually, it's worse. Their run game is terrible. The San Francisco's defense, even with some bad injuries on the back end of that defense, they are looking great. They're coming into full swing. This is the worst time you want to run into San Francisco. I think San Francisco absolutely dominates this game. I think they win by a couple touchdowns or more. I think this might be the most boring game of the day. I hope not. I hope all of these games are close. I think the Packers and Detroit will be the best game here. But Geno doesn't have it this game. Geno is a good NFL player, and that's all he will ever be, is a good NFL player. He's been great at moments, but he's just good, and he just isn't going to win a Super Bowl, and he's just not the guy. And I hate to say it because Geno's fun to watch, but he's just good, and that's it. He's not going to win this game. I don't think they've got any shot. I mean, I think they get run all over today or on Thursday.
Shaking your head. What you got?
I'm gonna actually surprisingly go opposite here. They're at Seattle at night. That crowd's gonna be electric. They are without Kenneth Walker, which is gonna hurt their offense a little bit. If Geno Smith does play this football game, though, I think the Seahawks squeak out a very close win against the 49ers.
Wow. Okay.
But I think Zach Charbonnet is going to have a good game. I think he's a better matchup running back against the 49ers than Kenneth Walker is. Kenneth Walker's, the bell cow guy. You're giving him the ball 15, 20 times a game, and he's just running hard up the middle. Whereas Zach Charbonnet is a very elusive back. I thought this was a great pickup when they drafted Zach Charbonnet. He's a very, very good complement back to Kenneth Walker. And with Kenneth Walker being out, he's going to get carries. He's going to have a chance to bust some runs. But he's also going to be a really good threat in the receiving game. I think that Geno, if playing, is going to be able to, hit some big passes on the secondary. Their secondary has been their weak point of their offense. Of their defense. I think I said that last week too. You beat the 49ers by passing the ball on them and then stopping them. I think Seattle's got a really good chance to win this game being at home. If this was at San Fran, I would be saying the complete opposite things right now. San Fran is in a groove. However, I am going to take the Seahawks to win. Let's go 27-24. Field goal game.
Has Kyle Shanahan ever beat
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll, yeah.
I'm sure at some point he's had to have. He's had the better team.
But I feel like Pete Carroll's had
maybe not in Seattle, but he's definitely had. I think even last year they might have split the season series.
And Cam, you make a great point. Is the 12th man? But gosh, dude, I just don't. It's so hard to see this San Fran's team's on a roll, and the Seahawks are kind of fumbling the bag here late, coming down the line, just not playing as clean as they did early in the season. So hope it's a great game. It is in Seattle. I'm hoping it's not 3 blowouts because I want to watch some football. And I'll probably be, drunk by that game. So I want to be entertained at least a little.
One thing I'd like to add real quick that I forgot to mention there, and this kind of alludes to the point that you just said, Boston, that Seattle's been falling the bag. Like, yeah, they blew a big lead on Sunday. The thing is with them, though, and this is why I said if Geno Smith plays, they will win. If Geno Smith does not play, they will get boat raced. I can guarantee you that. Because Drew Lock is horrible.
Come on, give Drew Lock a shot.
No, I gave Drew Lock a shot the other day when Gino got injured, and he was god awful.
Yeah, but so is Ryan Tannehill.
We're
So
back
give Drew Lock a shot.
to the trade.
You know what?
I mean,
the Titans he asked to be released. I say, Geno Smith goes down. You put Geno Smith on the bench. Say, hey, you get better. We'll keep you for next season. You bring Ryan Tannehill in, and guess what he'll do? He'll lose every game. And guess what he'll do? Then he'll sign a 4-year contract somewhere because he says, give me one more shot, and they will. Anyway, sorry.
I think someone doesn't like Ryan Tannehill.
I wanted to like Ryan Tannehill, but he's wasting Derrick Henry's career. I know Levis is in now, but Tannehill has been wasting Derrick Henry's career. Now, Derrick Henry obviously is having an elite career. So
I think he's done for. I think he's too old now. I hate to say it. I mean, he's
that's how
31.
running
I
backs
think.
go. He's a big guy, so it's not easy to stick around at that big. But that's what I'm saying is that Tannehill just took that time, put it in his hand, and just crushed.
That's how I feel about Saquon. I feel like Saquon's career has imagine what Saquon could have been behind a good offensive line if he didn't have the 30th and then 31st and 32nd ranked offensive line every year of his career. The only year he had a decent offensive line was his rookie year, and he was amazing. And then you just can't ever draft a good offensive line. Somehow it's been the worst thing ever as a Giants fan. But I love that we got on the Drew Lock conversation because that's actually kind of my take. I think if Drew Lock ends up playing, I think that's the only chance that Seattle has to beat San Francisco. You have one of the streakiest quarterbacks ever. You're talking about Klay Thompson type streaky of quarterbacks. If he sees the first deep ball hit the hands of the receiver and go for a 50-yard bomb, he might go crazy. But if he starts off 0 for 5 with the pick, he's going to throw 7 of them. It's just to me, I think if he starts catching fire and he's got that classic white Chad swag, it could be dangerous for it. It really could. Like that's the way that I think they win that game.
The only way Drew Lock hits a 50-yard receiver and gets in a groove is if he's playing at the local high school.
Yeah.
2 very boring minutes later.
Cam gets it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think legitimately he can light him up. It compared to Geno Smith. Geno Smith he's not a deep ball thrower, and against San Francisco, they're gonna run the ball down your throat. It's gonna be 8-minute possession. Christian McCaffrey touchdown time and time again. Maybe George Kittle will sneak one in there. Maybe they'll run one to Debo, but it's gonna be. I think even if Seattle wins, it's not gonna be very entertaining because it's just gonna be old-fashioned 9-10 minute drives for San Francisco, not for Seattle. I think Seattle will have to score in like 2 minutes.
That's their game. We'll take it.
I mean, I enjoy it, but for the casual fan doesn't enjoy that. But I love it. I would if my team could run the ball like that. That's why I love App State. That's what App State does. 8-minute drives, run the ball down your throat, and dare you to challenge me.
I think San Francisco is putting over 30 points in this game.
They probably could. I mean, they probably will. I mean, realistically, San Francisco probably comes out here and wins by 21 or more, no matter who plays. But I'm saying the only chance they have is if Drew Lock plays, comes out, catches fire early, and gives them a run for their money.
That's the only chance they have is Drew Lock. That would be.
I mean, or San Francisco doing what they do all the time and their whole team getting injured. I don't want to wish that or even speak that into existence, but it just seems that that's how San Francisco loses. How else do they lose? They don't really lose a fair battle. The only time they lose is when half their guys get hurt. It's just how they go.
Fair.
So we got 3 Thanksgiving games, and then we also got a Black Friday game, which is weird. We got a 3:00 game on a Friday. I mean, I have to work, so I'm gonna be watching it at work. I mean, it's weird. I don't know what the NFL is doing.
I gotta like it.
I'm gonna be watching it at work. It's gonna give me something to do. I'm excited, but we got Jets Dolphins with Tim Boyle at QB. Cam.
Oh God, Tim Boyle. Saw a graphic the other day. I think it was on the Pat McAfee show. In Tim Boyle's college plus NFL career, he has a touchdown interception ratio of 15 to 35. how is he in the NFL still? Like, you're telling, if you give me 9 years in the NFL, I don't know if I'm even throwing 15 and 35. I'm throwing it into the ground before I throw a pick. Me personally, I don't know. Anyways, they are at the Jets, and it's 9.5. Miami minus 9.5. The Jets' defense is very good. Now they didn't play very good the other day. Well, they played kind of good the other day against Buffalo. But that's going to be an exciting matchup. High-powered offense of Miami versus the Jets' defense. In New York too, so the fans are going to be going wild. I'm gonna take Miami to win. But I'm gonna take the Jets to cover 9.5 as of right now. I know that sounds crazy because I think Tim Boyle is god awful. Actually, no, you know what? No, scratch that. Miami wins. Miami covers. Miami wins 34-10.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's believable. Now, let's go ahead and go over Tua right here. He's got 21 touchdowns on the season, 8 interceptions. He's just under 3,000 yards. I mean, he's got that offense is. It's been slowed down a few times by the good teams. They can't be good teams. Lucky for them, the Jets aren't. Their defense is good. Defense is good for sure. Let's go ahead and go to Tim Boyle on the season. So what we've got here is he's got 1 interception. He's thrown for 33 yards, and his longest completion is 7 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the Dolphins win this game handedly. I'll go. Maybe I'll give him a field goal. I'll do a little reverse score. I'll do 31-13. I think Tim Boyle takes off, gets a nice little gain himself, little run. They do hurry up offense, and he throws a fade in the corner, and it gets tipped around and gets caught by somebody. I don't know, one of the Jets players, and they score a touchdown. But they get blown out on Black Friday, and everybody will be shopping anyway, so nobody really cares.
The only chance the Jets have to win this game, I think, is if Zach Wilson plays. But
that's not it. I mean, that's awful. If that's your hope is that Zach Wilson plays.
That's like saying the only way you win a game is with Drew Lock at quarterback. I mean, there's just no chance.
I don't know who would have said that. No, I think we're all in agreement. I hope Tim Boyle plays well, just for the fact that then this game will be entertaining. But I don't even know if Miami's needs to score that many points. They might not put up that many points. I mean, the Jets defense is good, but it's so hard to continue to play good defense when your offense doesn't do anything. You're going 3 and out, or you're going, you finally get a first down, then you turn the ball over. You're giving the offense if you give a college offense that many chances against an NFL defense, eventually they're going to score some points. And I feel bad for the Jets defense because they're kind of getting bashed a little bit. People who stat watch are like, oh, they're not that good. Yeah, you're giving them, they're starting the ball on their own 30. You're almost guaranteed to give up at least 3. So I kind of hope that Tim Boyle plays well also, because I feel bad for Jets fans at this point. It's almost just like, it's not even funny anymore. It's just sad. Like you finally had hope in Aaron Rodgers, and the Jets will be the Jets, I guess. But yeah, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 28-3, and maybe they score 10 if they get that garbage time touchdown with 45 seconds left. But
maybe
yeah,
the defense scores 1. Maybe they get a pick 6, or they get a turnover in the red zone, and that's the only chance you get. I want Tim Boyle to throw for a touchdown pass. That's all I want. You know what? I don't know what the odds are on that, but I'm gonna put down $50 anytime touchdown scorer.
Well,
all right.
If he throws a touchdown pass, that means he's going to throw at least 3 interceptions.
I'll probably do both.
Statistically, that's fine. That's if we're betting on throwing 3 interceptions and that gives me a touchdown, perfectly fine. That's a genius play. You know what they should do? This is Jets. If you're watching this, what you need to do is go out there, have Tim Boyle throw his arm until it doesn't work anymore, like Joe Burrow's. And all you got to do is arm punt on every play, and just hope Garrett Wilson or someone's down there to catch the ball. And if they don't, then they're pinned deep, and you hope your defense can get a turnover in the red zone, and there you are. You got a good defense arm punt every play on a Hail Mary, every single play. Maybe somebody catches it. If they don't, who cares? Tim Boyle doesn't care about his stats clearly. So he just keep throwing it and hope your defense can get a turnover in the red zone, and that's how you beat the Dolphins.
I think you should be coaching, honestly.
I should. I could just tell my players, did you ride the bus here today? Let's get to work. That'd fire them up. That would fire them up.
Wow. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Okay. All right. But we got to get to the guarantees before we end it. We got to end every show with these guarantees. We started with Boston last time. I gave you all a little bit of time to prep this time. I didn't prep just to make it fair since I prepped for the last one. Cam, what's your guarantee?
Listen, man, first off, before I start this, I want to say that I was so mad last week watching the Buccaneers down 13 get the ball 3 separate times and they didn't get a single point on the board to at least push the 12 points. It was making me – I was so mad. I had never been so invested in a Buccaneers game until right then. Anyways, my guarantee –
You're 0-1. You're 0-1. That's all I got.
I know. I know.
So is Boston. It's all right.
I'm going to the college football world because I didn't know we could last week, and Landon put a quick one on us.
You can go anywhere. It can be anything. It could be NBA, NCAA, a player, it could whatever. Just your guarantee.
So my guarantee this week is college football. It's my specialty. I got Michigan beating Ohio State this week. That's all I gotta say.
With no Harbaugh.
I said it on I said this last week. I feel so bad for saying this again. But me and my friend, we have a college football podcast. I said it today. We recorded earlier today. He thinks having Harbaugh is an issue for Michigan. I think it's a good thing for Michigan. I'm not saying that he's a bad coach, but I think it's just going to fire those players up a little bit more than if he was there.
It definitely could.
That's my guarantee. Michigan over Ohio State. Book it.
Book it. All right, Boston, what you got?
All right. My guarantee, Villanova plays UNC coming up this weekend, and Villanova wins by 10 against 5-0 UNC.
Hey, I'm going to have to send you a text after this, man. I'm going to have to send you a text after this.
All right. Also, you go ahead, Landon, and then I got to say something, but you go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. I'm still thinking about what I got here. I'm looking a little bit. What you got?
Well, I just want to put the NCAA on notice because in the Southern Coast Conference, the SoCon, the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, Keyshawn Langley absolutely took the hog, and I'm talking about an animal here. Don't look at my hand gestures. It's a hog, the animal. He just absolutely devoured it. All right. UNCG went into number 14, Arkansas. SEC Arkansas, and absolutely were up 14 at one point. Now, they blew the lead a little bit, but they went into Arkansas and came out with a dub. A well-earned dub. UNCG, keep an eye out for them. They are playing really good basketball. They have one loss. They was to Vanderbilt by 4. Can't beat everybody. But keep an eye on UNCG if we're talking college basketball. Keep an eye on UNCG.
I mean, I think, seeing the Langley twins play, we played against them in high school. I think when you watch someone like that play, you realize the difference between an average basketball player and someone who's playing at that level. Just seeing those guys play, when you sitting on the couch think that you can go do what they're doing, even at UNCG or at Wofford or wherever, you can't. It's a different level of basketball, and it's just. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that because I love the people who are sitting or playing in the gym and can go score 30 in a rec game, thinking that they can go play college basketball. You won't score a single point. You won't. I'm sorry, unless you put up a half court shot, nobody guards you, and you get lucky. But you're not going to go drive into a 7-footer and do what you just did to a 5'10" white kid at the rec center. It's not the same.
I mean, Landon, me and you know this firsthand. I mean, we played club basketball at together. Like people think that like that's like a joke, but like there's actual people. Like, I'm not saying I'm a real hooper because I was just on the bench half the time, but like there's real hoopers in the club level. They're not even playing for the real team. Like, people think it's crazy. You're like, oh, I could do that. Nah, you couldn't. You
No.
really couldn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not
I
a
mean,
shooter.
and you
But assuming I'm a shooter. I don't know where you get that. I know where you get that assumption from, but I'm not. Okay? So stop. And if I play basketball with you, don't expect me to sit beyond the 3-point line. Because if I make the first one, you're just going to keep telling me to shoot when I touch the ball, and I'm not a shooter. Okay? I want the
He's
ball
not a
in my
shooter.
hand, and I just want to pass. That's all I want to do. If you think I won't pass, I'm going to pass. I am not a shooter.
Bro is Chris Paul.
you are Chris Paul with extra defense.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of Tyrese Halliburton, except now he can
I'll
shoot a
take
little bit.
that. I used to say I was Ben Simmons, except really short, but still just as white. But
Yeah, that's actually a better comparison than Tyrese. I'm sorry, you are short Ben Simmons.
All right,
yeah, I'm
Landon.
sure Ben Simmons.
Stop.
I'm a
Stop.
I
foul
guarantee.
shooter. Sadly.
Okay, I was stalling a little bit. My guarantee, it's kind of a weird one. I don't know how I got here, but I was kind of just thinking my guarantee for the week, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have over 20 fantasy points. I just feel like, I mean, I know that's not that big of a number, but I feel like he's going to catch a touchdown. He's probably going to rush for 60 yards. I just feel like the hand is there. You know, it's not a super bold prediction. Jahmyr Gibbs, 20 fantasy points. That's what I got.
Hammer the over on Jahmyr Gibbs yards for sure. I think Montgomery was expected more yards. I'd say go ahead and give Gibbs, especially against that run defense of Green Bay. Gibbs all the way.
And honestly, I think if we're talking just fantasy points, I still think that Montgomery is going to score 15 of his own probably, and maybe they both have 20. I think this is going to be. I just feel like the Lions are going to just. Jared Goff could probably throw 10 passes and they could win this game.
Oh yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs over under rushing yards 45.5. Hammer the over.
Yeah.
Absolutely hammer.
Yeah.
You got Jared Goff throwing 3 interceptions. You think they're going to put the ball in his hands again to throw some more passes? No chance. They're going to hand the ball off.
I think he plays better. I think he has a good game. I doubt that he throws a pick. I doubt that he throws a pick.
I like Jared Goff. But if he doesn't need to throw this game, don't make him throw. You got 2 good running backs. Just give him the ball. That's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 79.5 receiving plus rushing yards line on Prize Picks. So
take
hammer the
over. Now, I'll probably say over about everything because I love watching fun football. Under is boring. If you ever pick the under, you're boring unless it's against a player that really doesn't deserve it, because then it's funny watching them not get it. But always hammer the over. It's so much more fun to watch. Under is so boring. That's like watching Iowa football.
Hey, Iowa football over under 25.5 points this week.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes, that is their.
They set the record last time with 28.5. That's got. 25 points. That is insane, and it's crazy that you can't even. You don't even want to choose the over. You don't even want to choose.
I would not. No way. Crazy. I'm not choosing the over.
25 points, and you don't want to choose the over. That is insane.
I'm taking the over this week. I'm taking the over against Nebraska.
They have
Nebraska? To. No. I bet you Nebraska turns the ball over 7 times, bro. They are awful.
10-3. You know what? 5 to 10.
6-3.
We're throwing in there. 5 to 10.
No,
Iowa wins obviously, but 5-10.
That's the crazy thing, though. I checked the box score. It was either a week or 2 weeks ago. I checked the box score, and it's the end of the first quarter, and it was 2-0. And I was like, Iowa football, baby.
That's what I saw the same thing. Because I told my buddy, I was like, dude, hammer the over. There's no way they don't get 28 points. This is college. You have 4 quarters, and you can do whatever you want. And, oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so great. But the Steelers are the Iowa of the NFL. They have the same colors. They've got the same play style. They're just as boring to watch. So it's about the same.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
I clipped your point last week when you said that the Steelers are the Ravens' kryptonite. So that here in a couple weeks when they play, I can post it, whether it's good or bad. I already got it. I already got a clip for you. So hopefully it works out for you.
Because we gotta play there. That don't count.
That does count. I mean, if they're your kryptonite, it don't matter where you are.
Yeah.
I did say Lamar Jackson was not the Ravens.
I mean, if Tyler Huntley plays and y'all can't beat Tyler Huntley, that's a problem.
We actually lost to Tyler Huntley, I think, COVID year. So,
well, COVID year, nothing counts, honestly.
We beat Lamar Jackson though.
I don't even know if COVID happened.
He's a running back, so.
I think Lamar is more deserving of MVP right now than Jalen Hurts, but we can talk about that a little bit more in our hour-long debate show. I can put that on the queue. We can talk about.
You're getting me fired up. What if the Eagles take care of the Bills this week, which I expect them to?
They will.
I'm gonna be coming in hot next week with. I mean, it's gonna be probably an hour and a half of just Jalen Hurts talk. So.
Jalen Hurts might not even. He doesn't even need to play well to beat the Bills. Josh Allen's going to just hand him the game anyways, but he's going to have 3 or 4 picks of his own.
Would you put Drew Lock ahead of Josh Allen?
Oh, based off what he was saying earlier, yeah, he would.
It sounds. You wait. You just said that you think the only way Seahawks win if Drew Lock comes in and lights it up. But you wouldn't have Josh Allen lead you down the field to win a game.
Yep, that's how I'm going. That's how I'm feeling. If just know, I'm gonna say it like this so we can clip it. When Drew Lock comes in and just drops 50-yard bomb after 50-yard bomb and wins the game for Seattle, don't say that I didn't tell you so. Seahawks with Drew Lock by 1,000,000.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say 50 bomb, do you mean these are being completed to his team or the other team?
Yeah.
Well, either way, he's either gonna drop 50 bomb to his own players, or he's gonna throw 4 pick sixes. He's throwing 4 touchdowns. They might be to the other team, but he's throwing 4. I don't know which team they're gonna be to, and that determines who wins this game. Thanks for sticking around with us, watching Fanbase. Happy Thanksgiving, and go Drew Lock, baby.